Welcome to lesson number 9. In this lesson we will talk about the while and the do-while statement. So let's open up Eclipse, then let's create a new project. We will name it lesson 9, and then we will come here at the source. We will make a package lesson 9. We'll create a class, our main class. And you can close any other projects that you have open. So we have the main method here. The syntax of the while statement is as follows. So you write while this expression is true, then do that, then execute that code. For example, if we write hello, what do you think that will happen here? We will have a loop without an end, because we say while this is true, then do that. We don't set any breakpoint, so the moment it is printed out, it will loop again here, and you say while this is true, true is always true, do that. It will be printed out, and then it will be looped again. While this is true, print it out, and so on. Let's see it happen. Do you see it? It doesn't ever end. How we can end it? One way is to put a breakpoint like that with the keyword break. The code will be executed once and then it will stop, like here. And the other way is to put our own breakpoint. So let's say that we have a variable integer named count, and we will give it a value of 0, and we can say while count has in the value of 3, then execute this code, and then increment the count value by 1. So let's see it before we run the code, before we execute the code. Let's see what will happen. Clearly we have here a variable count with the value of 0, so the value is 0, and we say while 0 isn't 3, then do that, then it will be printed out, and increment the value by 1, so 0 will become 1, and then it will be looped again, and you say while 1 has in the value of 3 is not 3, then print this out, it will be printed out, and increment the value of 1 by 1, so it will become 1 plus 1, 2. Then it will come back here again. While count has now the value of 2. While 2 is not 3, which is true, then do that, then print out hello, and increment the value by 1. So the value is now 2 plus 1, 3, and it will loop again and say while count, which has a value of 3, is not 3, which is false, and the moment that the expression here is false, this code inside the brackets will be completely ignored, and the compiler starts reading outside the brackets, so here, 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 and so on. So we did set our breakpoint here. Let's see, it happened. It should be hello should be printed 3 times, and voila, we have it printed 3 times. You can play with the values here. For example, you could also create a boolean. Imagine that you, for example, that you search your keys in the house and you say boolean searching my keys has a value of true. So it is true that I search my keys. And then you say, while I'm searching the keys, then execute the following code. If the keys are in the kitchen, keys in the kitchen, so we can set here a boolean that is true, keys in the kitchen, has a value of false, of true, I'm sorry. So, and we say if this expression is true, then execute the following code. Searching keys is false. And you can say keys found. So let's see, keys in the kitchen. Now it's right. So what did we do now? We say while this is true, while searching my keys, then this code will be executed inside the brackets. So the code is executed because I'm searching my keys, because this is true. We have set the value searching keys true. So, and we say if this is true, then execute this line of code. This is also true because we have defined the value here, and the code that will be executed is our breakpoint, because we set the value of searching my keys here, this value, to false. And what did we say before? That the moment this expression here will become false, it is a breakpoint, it stops, and the compiler goes outside the brackets and goes further with the code. So if we run this code, keys found, and it stops. So this is it. You can make many experiments. It is not easy at start, but the moment that you practice, and the more you practice, the better you will become. If you have any questions, you can write them in the section below, in the comments, or send me a direct message. Let's see now the do while. So the do while goes like that. You say execute this code, do that, so do that, while this is true. But the important thing here is that no matter what, the code here inside the brackets will be executed at least once. Why is that? Because the while is after. So if we write, for example, at least once here, and we set the value of while to false, what did we say? That the moment that the value of while is false, it will not loop again. The code here will be executed at least once. Let's check it. At least once. Do you see it? So although the while statement is false, the code is executed one time. But if here this expression was true, what do we have? We have an endless loop like that. At least once, at least once, at least once, and so on. So the do while is another way to write the while loop. Let's check this out. For example, if we set here the value of count to 0, count the value of 0, and then we say do at least once, So print this message, and then you can increment the value of count by 1, and this is gonna happen while the value of count has not the value of 2. So let's see what will happen here before we execute the code. We'll make our comment section, and then we have the value of 0. The count has a value of 0. And then you say do that at least once, so the code will be executed at least once. And you still have the value of 0 here. But the moment it will be printed, the compiler goes here, and the value will be incremented by 1. So now count has a value of 1. And it goes here, while 1 is not 2, then it goes and loops again. It goes here, and at the beginning, and the code here will be executed again. So at least once, and you say increment the value by 1, so 1 will become 2, and you say while 2 is not 2, but this is false, so the code will stop here and will go further and further and further and further. So we should get twice printed the value at least once. So let's see it happen 2 times the sentence at least once. So this is it. These are 2 really important statements, and we will also do some challenges this week for practice. The next lesson will be about the for statement, which is also really important in Java. And after that, we're gonna jump into the object-oriented programming, start learning about classes, methods, etc. See you all there, and thank you all for watching.